This is Aurora on the monthly chart. We can see this huge spike up in price last month. It did hit this support, which is now resistance at the $1.20 level. Going down to the weekly chart, we can see how price has pretty much retraced 100% of the move higher from this gap higher and this extended range green candle. Before we continue with the analysis, let's look at this article. It is coming from the Motley Fool. 3 things about Aurora Cannabis that smart investors know. So Aurora might seem like another humdrum marijuana stock, but there are actually a few nuances and recent developments that mean that there's a bit more than meets the eyes. I think the big thing is that they don't compete in the US. They are Canadian based, but they also sell their products in the UK, Australia, Poland, Germany, Israel, and a few other countries. Now, the legalization of cannabis has gotten some positive news in the US, and that's pretty much changing the status of marijuana to a less restrictive status. So that's positive for the whole industry in general, and that's probably why we saw the surge in price last month. Now, one thing to note, they are buying back and paying down on their debt. On September 8th, it bought back 9 million of its convertible senior notes, which it paid for by issuing new stock. Since the end of 2021, it repurchased around 306 million of its convertible debt, saving roughly 24 million in interest in the process. It now has only 39 million of convertible notes outstanding, and Aurora's cash equivalents and short-term investments total just over 119 million. So it could potentially also buy back its remaining notes sometime this year, early next year, and that leave it with plenty of leverage to lean on if it ever needs to borrow to stroke growth. Another thing to note, which I didn't know, the revenue is seasonality. Wise investors are attuned to the seasonal patterns affected in the sales of their business, even when the bulk of revenue isn't affected. Such is the case with Aurora Cannabis, which has multiple drivers of seasonality in its sales. People tend to buy more marijuana in the late spring and summer months. That makes sense, right? They're out and about. Slightly less in the fall, and then more again around the holidays. But there's an even bigger seasonal element of Aurora's specifically. As much as 75% of their Bevo sales occur before the end of June each year. An outdoor growing condition become inhospitable in Canada soon thereafter. So they acquired this Bevo Farms, an ornamental plant and vegetable propagation company, in August of 2022. Again, they are Canadian based, so the seasonality is driven and affected by just the human behavior and culture in Canada. All right, so with that said, I mean, it was a great shorting opportunity, if I do so say myself. Again, this is the weekly chart. You can see how you had support, became resistance, and price couldn't even get back to that zone before price sold off. And in part of that sell-off, you had a couple of gaps. You had a gap at 80 cents. You had a gap at 65 cents. Definitely the gap at 52 cents is going to get filled, in my opinion. If you missed the move last month and you had the patience and the discipline to just stay out of the stock, and if you do want to get into cannabis, specifically Aurora, now is not a bad time to start. I would say getting in. I wouldn't. So if you had $1, maybe you put 25 cents in now. You can do it based on time. 25 cents every month, every week, every day. You could do 5 cents every day or every week over the next 20 weeks. There's various ways to stack into a trade or an investment. Personally, I need more confirmation. Um, I would love to see prices breach and take out this support resistance level near the dollar level. That's confirmation that price has really bottomed. Because if you look at the monthly chart, you can see where price was. Now, I don't anticipate price getting up to these levels anytime soon. I just prefer to put my money into something that's a little bit more probability of working in my favor. So, again, if you want to get in, good dollar cost average. If you are conservative, then you wait a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.